So my first trade was from USD GPY, same bias and context and models from all the previous weeks, but overall, if we take basic context, which consists of confluence between the time frames, so just the simplistic confluence between time frames, then quality of breaks and moves, then the space to move, so if we are entering here or here is the difference, and then context from the standpoint of models, which you can find in the course materials. But in short recap, we have bullish models of accumulation, which is basically back and forth with a recent shift up. This is horizontal accumulation, or when the market is in the pullback phase and creating a pullback with a back and forth and then recent shift up. So these were accumulation models. Or reaccumulation when the market is moving up and then makes a shift to the downside. This constitutes a possible accumulation, and this is like more confirmed reaccumulation, sorry. And redistribution is basically the same. So on weekly, if we go from weekly, we have a reaccumulation model here with a recent clear bullish internal shift. So we have a confluence between usual structure confluence, that we discussed in the beginning stages of the course, and models. Because if we see like this is a reaccumulation model. Basically, if we go from here, is like up, down, and now up again. So this reaccumulation. If we look at this part of price action, this is accumulation, So everything on different time frames is showing the bullishness. And as you know from previous week, we were looking to continue this range to the bullish side. And I came to the market somewhere at this point, and I was looking for this range to continue to the bullish side. Basically, when the market started a pullback after this impulse to the upside, I was looking for, I deleted everything, I guess. Let me check it. Okay, so I returned back my trade. So and I was looking for bullishness. I was looking either from this 1 hour range from the bottom. So I was realizing that my free money zone, my situation after the break is not ideal here, but we have a nice structural shift on 15 minutes, and I was willing to give it at least one try in the zone, which I did. And then later I was going to look at this, which never happened, but as you will see, it played out really nicely. So again, if you want more details on the context overall, it's basically the same context for many days already. So just go and look through previous recaps. So my main idea for this was this 15-minute range, this one, this clear high quality range. The problem is that the pullback took a little bit too much time, and in the moment of the trade, this was already a redistribution on 5 minutes. So let's see what happened. I had this zone, this unmitigated zone. Of course, I realized that we have more zones here. And when the price came into relatively high quality, high liquidity zone, high liquidity session, and created this push, from the standpoint of models, we are in a possible accumulation here within bullish context, within higher time frame zone, which in my case is 15 minutes, and of course 1 hour, 4 hours are all bullish. And then on 1 minute, as you can see, we were creating some accumulation, and then broke to the upside, and broke to the upside. When the market mitigated the zone and started to move up, I entered on a usual confirmation, and basically that was a loser. Straight loser. Basically what the market did. So again, the problem with this is that even though on 1 minute and overall it's looking like really bullish, but look what the market did here. So if we take this pullback, what model is this? Yeah, so we have down, 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 up, down, down, up. So yeah, it's a possible accumulation, but also it's still a possible redistribution. Yeah, so it's a bit more complex redistribution and or accumulation, but again, it's not like, you know, it's not a real clear situation what's happening here. So I would suggest that maybe if we made this move and then started like one break to the upside, second break to the upside, this situation would be much better. But overall here, so especially if we look at something like this, yeah, this is a clear redistribution. So down, down, up. This is a possible redistribution. So yeah, from the standpoint of model confluence, we are not so good here. So it was a loser. But look what happened further. The market like really exactly reacted to this last unmitigated portion of 1 hour zone and just started a really nice move. So you can go and check. So this is the date. You can check in hindsight how it all developed. But yeah, the moves were really clean, and then created this one more range here, created this zone, reacted to this, never broke it, and just went higher, given some possibilities for entries on the way up. And I guess in several months, probably, so I'm starting right now working on one more confirmation, which is based on like really running markets when they do, let's say, something like this, when they just make a big impulse, then a tightening in the price, and then breaks up. But yeah, it's just a small announcement to keep you interested, but I guess I will develop this entry system and it could be quite nice. But yeah, so this is a quick presentation of what happened on USD JPY, and again, the structure held, and now we are in one more bullish push, and we are looking to continue this bullish push to where? To this weekly target. So one more pair that I was looking for is GBP JPY. The context is exactly the same, so bullish weekly from a reaccumulation, just going bullish, bullish daily, reaccumulations, accumulations, just confluence between different time frames, so everything is bullish. We had this zone, it worked perfectly, but I didn't have anything. And here I try to enter. As you can see, it would be really nice to enter somewhere lower, but again, it was my first tries to enter this market this week, and this is still a place to try it. So we are pretty high above the break, but it was okay based on what? On like 15 minutes and so on. So we had a break. Okay, apparently my recording like shut down somewhere, but I would just continue from here. So on 15 minutes we just tapped perfectly into the zone. Again, here is your day. You can see it in the bottom of the screen. If you want, go and see it yourself in hindsight, see how the market developed. But basically it just continued a really bullish move. So yeah, and continued bullish, created this opportunity, but as I said, I was not too much active on this week, so we had this opportunity and maybe something here. So go and research yourself. So this was my second trade, and my third trade was AUDUSD. It's a bit more complex, but overall what we have here, what I was acting from, is realizing that on monthly we are in a bullish context. We created this bullish break, mitigating this. So overall, from the standpoint of models, it's of course more looking like a possible redistribution, but even if it is, based on recent price action, it could be signalizing on some deeper redistributions. Weekly, just basically nothing, just 50-50. Daily, daily I was just following this bullish move, and my main structural idea for the entry was this wave, this chain from 4 hours. As you can see, we were just moving to the bearish side and then created several shifts to the upside with a chain. So what was a chain? We had this break, mitigation of this bigger zone, break, mitigation of a refined zone, break on internal basis, a break, mitigation, break, mitigation. And when the market, so here, when we had this break, mitigation, and when the market started to go to liquidate this target, of course, I was looking for this entry. So this is how the market looked on 1 hour. So just a more detailed representation of this chain of supply and demand. Of course, from the standpoint of models, we are just having some reaccumulations or just a usual trend of structure. So you don't need to have a model every time. It's just a part of a context. And so on. So we had 4 hours like break, a mitigation of a zone and continuation. And on 15 minutes, we had, from the standpoint of models, we had accumulation or reaccumulation. So up, up, down, up, up, up. So again, see my first trade. My first trade was maybe somewhere here, you know, when I entered, when this model is still more likely a redistribution. So down, 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 up. So this was a place for my first trade. But this is a really different place. Can you agree with me? Because now we are past the phase of accumulation, and now we are just moving up intensively to the next target. And let's look how it looks on 5 minutes. So we have a break, clear break, unmitigated zone. So let me show you a bit with a zoom in. So we have a full body candle zone, and not only that, the entry is not here, but the price already starts to move. And on 1 minute, it just was in a range. I was stepping in the market somewhere here. I just saw that the market this move, liquidated the lows, and at the same time mitigated this lower zone for this local reaccumulation, as you can see, or this one if you want the full zone, and just started to move up. So just follow the market, entered here, somewhere here or here, went to break even, and then waited for my 5R to manage or to close everything. And when the price reached 5R, so when the price reached 5R, I needed to make a decision either to close fully or to manage. But from the management standpoint, this one was quite close, and this one I mean, for liquidation, and then I just need to lose 1R. This one was pretty far away. It's like 3R or something, and the market created this big move, and it was quite obvious to me that a much deeper reaccumulation is possible. And so at this point, I just decided to close everything at 5R, and that's all. So this was my trade. And my last trade, unfortunately mismanaged, yeah, a bit of a spoiler, was from USD JPY. So sorry, USD CHF. So what we have from the standpoint of weekly and all the other time frames, basically we have the confluence between weekly, daily, 4 hours, 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and 1 minute. From the standpoint of usual structure and from the standpoint of models or structural trend. So here we have like just a down move, so basically a beginning of a downtrend. On the daily we have redistribution here, so down, up and down, up, and this internal shift to the downside and move to the down. So really possible redistribution here on daily. On 4 hours we just have crystal clear downtrending structure or possible distribution in a way that we have up, 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 down, up, 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 down, a bit up and down again, so possible distribution, or just if you want, just a down moving market if we look here. And of course, from the standpoint of classical structure, we just have a chain. So we have a structural breaks and this chain. So a break, mitigation, continuation, and mitigation of what? The last unmitigated part. So if we look closely, why this move happened here? Because so we had this unmitigated part, but this was also a good zone because it is situated in this bigger volume zone. It's a good refinement, you know. We have only one unmitigated part here, and it's quite small compared to what we have here, to this cluster of chains, you know, cluster of candles. So I was willing to look at this zone, but as you can see, I didn't enter straight on the tap, but waited until the price started to move down. And here is how it looked on 2 hours. So we have a really clear move here, pullback and the start of the movement to the downside. Here as well, we just have distribution, redistribution, and by the way, structural range on 1 hour with a pullback and start of the move. And here on 15 minutes, the same redistribution with a recent shift to the downside. And on 5 minutes, so let me show you like this. So this is the mitigation of 1 hour zone. So this 1 hour zone mitigation, starting a move down on 5 minutes, creating this pullback and mitigation of this zone. And on 1 minute, it looked something like this. So this is not an entry point. Entry point will be somewhere here. So on 1 minute, we just have a market that is moving down, performing possible distribution or redistribution. And again, why could you expect that this is likely a distribution or redistribution? Because you already know your higher time frames. And if you can rewind a little back, you will see that all the time frames are much more bearish than they are bullish, and so we are fine to see for some shorts. We have this break here with perfect, basically almost perfect move to the downside, clear, crystal clear zone, mitigation into a zone, and when this the price started to move down, so somewhere here I entered, price started to play in the zone and created a reaction. At this point, I moved my stop loss to not here, like here, to 0.5, as you can see. Then it went up, played a little bit. Here, when we started to break this, I moved to break even. And then my task was basically to sit and wait until we deliver to our main target, this one, and then of course all these targets. But I basically needed just 1 to 5. Unfortunately, unfortunately it was like technically mismanaged, and I remember I was like a little bit nervous. Again, outside factors like really influence me, unfortunately. Can't do anything with it at the time. So yeah, my mindset is not perfect, and this is something I need to work on. But this life, it's like easier said than done. And I started to manage a bit earlier that I needed. So I didn't wait to 5R. When the price started to show some pullbacks, I started to manage to here and then to here. And this was my stop out at 3.4. And what's interesting is that if I waited, so this was my actual management, but if I waited to 5R, so if I waited to 5R, This is 5 hour level, and now I need to manage with confident break. So first manage is to this. Then we have a next confident break is this one, and we need to decide either we manage to this or to this, and I don't remember what is better here. So we have one more confident break and we manage to this one. Oh, and I think this one will be stopped out. Okay, no. So we can manage here. And then basically somewhere here. So this trade, even with this simplistic confident brace, could be easily managed to 12R this same day. Yeah. Third day, yeah. So it could be a phenomenal trade. Like I missed out so much RR, so many profit, and guess what? Like before that, I think I would be so mad. I would like go back into the market trying to get my like so-called lost profit, but like I got 3.4R from this trade and 5R from previous trade, having only 2 losers during the week. So the results are fantastic as well, even with this kind of results. So again, I needed to remind myself that I need to be grateful for what I have, and it's actually great because when I analyze it, I know that I don't need that much to improve in the system itself, but I need to have a bit better management style, and I kind of still working, like, on the actual management, so I don't have the fixed rules for this, because again, from one side I could use my old system when I have like only 7R profit, but then if I would use my new system properly, I would easily get like 12 or 10R profit, which is insane for me, So I will continue to work on this point, and yeah, again, see these good trades. These are really good examples of how our system work. And yeah, I wish you all the best, and see you in the next part about the journal recap.